Hello, everyone. On today's podcast episode, I'm going to talk about the biblical horsemen again. For many people who doubt me, thinking that, a horse doesn't have a negative connotation, I'm going to add another, example to it. And for those who are listening to this podcast for the first time, I'm going to talk about the biblical prophecy for you again. In the Bible, in the book of Revelations of the Bible, right? It states that at the end of the world, right? 4 horsemen will come, right? These 4 horsemen will signify the end of the world. They will be the ones that bring the destruction. They will be the ones that destroy the world single-handedly, right? So, in the Bible, many people think the word horseman in the Bible means real horseman, like some sort of mythical creature. But the truth is, the Bible uses a lot of symbolisms. When you see horsemen, it's not someone riding a horse, nor is this someone from the underworld coming to life to ride a horse and destroy the world. It's not. It's symbolism. The horseman, right? Symbolically, is a man who rides a horse, right? But what you don't know is what a horse symbolizes. You think a horse is a real animal, but it's not. The word horse symbolizes death. It symbolizes destruction. It symbolizes the mechanism that will bring destruction and death to the world. That's what a horse symbolizes. So a horseman, what? A horseman is a man that controls a horse, that controls the mechanism that will bring death and destruction to the world. That's what a horseman is. And since it's a horseman, it means it's a human being. Just like the Antichrist is a human being, a horseman will be a human being that'll use his power or his position to what? Bring death and destruction to the world. And the mechanism he uses to bring death and destruction to the world is called the horse. So a horse symbolizes death and destruction, right? And here's an example of what that means. Another name for a horse is a mare. A horse and a mare are synonymous. The dark side of the moon, like I said it before, many episodes before, the dark side of the moon is called the mare, right? The moon symbolizes death. This is why, and negative energy and demonic things, that's what the moon symbolizes. The god of death, right? There's a god of death called sin. You know what sin is, right? Sin is something you do when you do something wrong. In the biblical sense, when you disobey God in the biblical sense, you've sinned. There's a mythological god of sin, right? And that god of sin is called the god of death. And do you know what that god of sin symbolizes? The moon. So the moon and the god of death are what? Synonymous. If the moon means death, right? And its name, the name for the dark side of the moon, the most cruelest side, the most, hidden side, the most demonic side of the moon is called the mare. That means even within the moon itself, there's sides. There's the lighter side and the darker side. And darkness always symbolizes negativity. Dark things, hidden things always symbolizes negativity. So the most negative part of the moon is called a mare. It's called a horse, right? And you may not believe me when I said that, the moon is the god of death. But look at folktale. Look at your stories, your fairy tales and stories. The moon always, when the moon is out, that's when, werewolves come out. Werewolves thrive during the moon, during the night. The full moon is when the werewolf is the most powerful. The full moon is when the vampire is most powerful. Demonic things always love the moon. Evil things in all mythology always love the moon, not the sun. The moon is the negative, is symbolic with negativity, death, demonic things. So for the moon's dark side, something even worse than just the light side of the moon, the side we can see, for the moon's darkest side to be called a mare, what does that tell you? It tells you the horse is the most darkest, most demonic side of the moon. A mare is the most darkest and demonic side of the moon. When someone dreams, right? If it's a good dream, it's called a dream. If it's a bad dream, it's called what? If it's a terrifying, demonic dream, it's called what? It's called a nightmare. See the mare in the name? It's a night horse, a nightmare. The word horse always symbolizes negativity and demonic things. Always symbolizes death. You can die from a nightmare. Just a nightmare alone can kill you. High blood pressure, stress, anxiety, all these negative things that your body go through can kill you. Right? So that's what a horse symbolizes. It has always symbolized, negativity, evil, death, and the destruction of the world. That's what a mare symbolizes. That's what a horse symbolizes. A car that runs on fossil fuel, right? Fossil fuels are made out. What are fossil fuels made out of? This is another example of what a mare is. Fossil fuels are made out of what? Fossils, right? Death. A car that runs off oil made out of fossil fuels, what? A car that runs off oil, crude oil, or fossil fuel runs off what? Horsepower. The engine, the power of the engine is measured in horsepower. A car that runs off diesel is measured in torque. A car that runs off gasoline is measured in horsepower. And gasoline is no different from crude oil, death oil, fossil fuel. Anything related to death almost always have the word horse in it. And usually things that have the word horse in it are usually negative things. Horsepower, right? Do you know what, the government is mostly afraid of these days? Climate change. And do you know why we're afraid of climate change? Because the fuel burned by cars that run off horsepower create climate change. And climate change is what? Something that will kill us all. So horse-powered cars will bring the death of humanity through climate change. So climate change becomes a horse. The car that we use is also the horse. Do you know who the horseman is? The horsemen are the people driving the cars, because they will be the ones that will bring the death of humanity through climate change. Almost everything that's related to horses are usually negative. Even a car that runs off gasoline. And the other one is that I mentioned before is cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin, the word bit in Bitcoins means the word bit comes from, the word bit, right, in Bitcoin is also the bits. There's a different definition for the word bit. The word bit in Bitcoin is, most people know it as digital bits, quantum, more like computer bits, information bits. It's not really something related to any horses. But the truth is, the word bit has another definition. The bit is used to control a horse. A bit is used to control a horse. That's what a bit is. A bit is part of a bridle that is used to control a horse. It's a key part in a bridle that is used to control a horse. Right? And we already know that the word horse is what? Symbolic of negativity. It's symbolic of death. So Bitcoin is the horse that's used to control is the bridle that's used to control a horse, right? It should reflect in the way cryptocurrencies are working, right? Bitcoin is used to control a horse. So does Bitcoin truly control a horse? If Bitcoin is used to control a horse, or if the bit is used to control a horse, right? The horse must be cryptocurrencies, right? Because the word bit is used to control a horse. A bit is used to control a horse. So Bitcoin should be used to control something, right? And is the truth. Bitcoin controls the cryptocurrency market, just like its name implies. A bit controls a horse. A bit is used to control a horse. Bitcoin is used to control the cryptocurrency market. When Bitcoin price goes up, the cryptocurrency market goes up. When the price of Bitcoins go down, the cryptocurrency market goes down. If Bitcoin ever gets banned, all cryptocurrencies usually get banned along with it. Whatever happens to Bitcoin usually affects every other coin in the cryptocurrency market. Bitcoin controls the horse called cryptocurrencies. To control cryptocurrencies, control Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin is the first cryptocurrency to ever exist. And it's still the oldest one. So in order to control cryptocurrencies or the horse, you use the bits. You use Bitcoin. And the word horse is always negative. So if Bitcoin is the bridle, it's part of the bridle that controls the horse, it means cryptocurrencies are the horse. And it reflects in the nature of cryptocurrencies. There's so many scams in the cryptocurrency market. Most of the coins are scams. They're either quick scams that happen within a week, or ongoing scams that just bleed their customers dry over years. There's so many coins right now out there. There's so many cryptocurrency projects out there that have not fulfilled a single promise that they've made. And they've been there for years, milking customers out of their funds. The entire cryptocurrency market is synonymous with scams. It's synonymous with get-rich-quick schemes. That's the whole cryptocurrency market. It's synonymous with negativity. We rarely ever know any other coin except Bitcoin and Ethereum. Most people do not even know any other cryptocurrency except Bitcoin. That is how bad, the whole cryptocurrency market is. Too many people have been scammed by cryptocurrencies. Because cryptocurrencies, is just synonymous with negativity at this point. It's synonymous with scams. It's a horse. Bitcoin is the bit that controls the horse called cryptocurrencies. And if cryptocurrencies is synonymous with a horse, cryptocurrencies are usually what? Negative for the world. Negative for the world. Not to mention, not just the scams that, plague the whole cryptocurrency markets. The governments also have to worry about terrorists being funded by cryptocurrencies. Criminals being funded by cryptocurrencies. Criminals moving money through cryptocurrencies. Dangerous criminals moving money through cryptocurrencies. It's so easy to fund criminals and gangs and terrorists using cryptocurrencies. There's no checks. There are no checks, in place from the government. They can just send money overseas to anyone can send money overseas to any terrorist group without the slightest care in the world that they'll get caught or that the money will be seized. The slightest care in the world. This is why, anything that symbolizes a horse is always negative. If Bitcoin symbolizes the bit that controls the horse, it means the horse is cryptocurrencies. Because Bitcoin currently, from the experience that I've experienced with Bitcoin my entire life, Bitcoin truly does control the cryptocurrency market. Everyone already knows that. When the price of Bitcoin goes up, the whole cryptocurrency market goes up with it. When Bitcoin falls, the whole cryptocurrency market falls with it. It is lockstep with Bitcoin. Bitcoin controls the horse. Bitcoin controls cryptocurrencies. And since cryptocurrencies are the horse, Cryptocurrency is always, is a negative thing in this world. If the government doesn't control cryptocurrencies properly, this horse, just like it states in the Bible, a horseman would ride a horse that would destroy the world. 4 horsemen would ride a horse, a symbolic horse, something like cryptocurrencies, and use it to bring the end of the world. Something like fossil fuels, something like cars. The horseman would ride a car called gasoline and use it to, the horse called gasoline, called, fossil fuels, and use it to bring climate change. The horse that would destroy the world. Horses are always symbolic with, negativity, destruction, death. And the last one that I want to talk about is actually something that has to do with Sodom and Gomorrah. Do you know the word whore, right? What is the plural of whore? The plural of whore is horse. Whores, right? So, like I've stated before, the word horse is always symbolic of something negative. Don't we have a negative view of whores? Come on, do not lie to yourself. Who doesn't have a negative view of whores? So does the Bible. Whores are always negative. Whores, right? The reason why we don't like whores is one, they sleep around too much, meaning that every time you sleep with someone, the more people you sleep with, the higher the chance of you catching STDs and diseases, and also the higher chance of you spreading diseases to everyone around you, right? 2, when you sleep with too many people, no one knows who the father of your child is. You will not be able to tell who the father of your child is. You may end up giving, someone else's child to another man and framing them as the father of your child, because you never know who your father, who the real father of your child is. So your father will grow up fatherless. Your child will grow up fatherless because he doesn't know who who their father really is. So these are the reasons, there's many other reasons why people don't like whores or horse. But let me talk about Sodom and Gomorrah real quick. Do you know why God destroyed the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah? It was because of whores. There was too much sexual deviance going on in Sodom and Gomorrah. It was right there in the Bible. There were too many whores in Sodom and Gomorrah. There was too much horse in Sodom and Gomorrah. Too many horse in Sodom and Gomorrah. That's why God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. That was one of the reasons why God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. Even the word sodomy comes from Sodom. God does not like whores. The word horse is always symbolic of something negative. When your voice dies, it goes hoarse. Does it not? When your voice starts to die, it goes hoarse. Right? When many whores come to, when a whore increases, when there's more than one whore, it becomes a horse. Whores. Too many whores will destroy the world, just like it did in Sodom and Gomorrah. The word horse is always negative, and it always brings about negativity. So when you read the Bible, when it says 4 horsemen will come and destroy the world, it is 4 human beings. 4 humans will ride the horse that will bring about the death and destruction of the world. The horse. And this is not a real horse. It is a mechanism that will bring about our end. That's what a horse is. The mechanism that will bring about the end of the world. When there are too many whores, in a country, God does not like it. Just like in Sodom and Gomorrah. There were too many whores in Sodom and Gomorrah, so God destroyed it. Too many people doing sexual, deviant things. Sleeping with men, sleeping with children, killing and raping people. Just a lot of weird things happening in Sodom and Gomorrah. And a lot of weird things happened there because there were too many mindless whores running around, and God did not like it. Whores are always symbolic of negativities. The word horse is always symbolic of something negative, something evil, something synonymous with death, something demonic. So when you ride your car with, a few horsepowers, just know that the horsepower in horse, the horse in horsepower is not talking about a real horse. It is symbolic of death itself. The word horsepower is symbolic of death. This is why when you drive a car that's, runs on gasoline, the fumes coming from that car will cause climate change that would destroy the world, that would destroy our lives. The world will still be fine, but human life will not. The world may still go on, but human life will not. The word mare or horse always symbolizes negativity. So just know that the Bible always uses symbolic words. If you don't understand symbolism that much, you will never truly understand certain parts of the Bible. The Bible is very complex. It uses symbolism sometimes, and it always uses, just direct English, direct, definitions of words. There's symbolic words, and then there's a normal definition of the word itself. You have to know when the Bible is actually using a symbolic version of a word versus the real one. So that's it for today's podcast episode. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.